Greetings, gamers. Another game night and our first Sega Master System game night.
Yes, and I am not familiar with this, never played it, so this will be my first time.
Actually, back in the day, I knew nothing of the Sega Master System. It was very successful in like the United Kingdom and other countries.
Okay.
And the US, it kind of had a weak market share, so a lot of people like us had Nintendos at the time, and we were just so Nintendo, we didn't even realize that this game was out and about, you know what I mean?
Did this take place before Sega Genesis?
Yes. This was like
This was a precursor.
This was like their Nintendo. Like you got Nintendo and Super Nintendo, it's Sega Master System and Sega Genesis. See, that's like your comparison back and forth. And the reason we're doing Double Dragon today is because I don't know if you remember on the NES, Double Dragon was only single player and it really hurt the game for me.
It did, yes. Because that's one of those games. It was a great game, but back in the day with these games, it made things so much better if you could play with someone else.
Yeah, and nothing's more frustrating than playing a beat 'em up game solo. You know what I mean?
It's very reminiscent of, what was the one from SNES? Final Fight?
Final Fight, yeah. Final Fight gaff. It seems like Nintendo has these gaffs nowadays of just having single player beat 'em ups. I don't know what the deal is with that stuff.
Just doesn't work.
But I did a little bit of research. The Sega Master System has a Double Dragon that features 2 players at the same time. So Sega does what Nintendo don't, I have to say, when we get to that point. So we're going to try it out right now for you guys and give you a taste of what some Sega Master System games had for their ports compared to Nintendo.
All right, let's give it a whirl.
All right, we're actually playing this on the Sega Genesis through a add-on that lets you play Sega Master System games.
Okay.
So I'm player 1 with my cool Slick Do.
And I am in red with blue hair. You're blue with red hair.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
They just kind of
makes it
flip those
original.
colors around. Well, immediately I can tell this system seems to have a little bit more color, it feels like, or something. The graphics are pretty good
Yeah.
compared to the NES version.
A little blocky, but you know, what can you?
What do you expect from that time era? The music isn't bad, but it doesn't have like that high energy chip tune. Like
it doesn't have that Nintendo flair with the music that
Nintendo
we were so
really
used to.
is a rockin' system for music, I have to admit. All right, so this one's got the weapon on the ground. I remember I'd have to earn that in the Nintendo one. You're Indiana Jones now. Is that Indiana Jones like to whip women, apparently?
Absolutely.
You know it's a good old 80s game when you're beating women in the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw in the earlier part when they're taking away your girlfriend or whatever, you just sock her in the stomach and carry her off.
Yeah, there is no straight to the point more plot than this game, I have to say. Somebody takes your woman and you're out to go get her back.
And it's always good Double Dragon when a Bobo's in it.
Oh, you always need him around, who takes 1,000,000 hits.
And a Bobo's already down, so alright.
Yeah, this one is definitely has a different look and feel. Like this one seems more true to the arcade version, and Nintendo was a little bit different from the arcade version if you want to compare like the level setup.
Yeah.
Alright, as long as I got my barrel to throw.
You always need to throw barrels.
I always wonder what's in that barrel. Is that oil? That an empty
I don't know,
barrel?
it's pretty solid.
Oh, how you missed that? I don't remember such colorful flair in the hair on the NES version either. This guy's got pink hair, he got blue hair. You Marge Simpson's son.
And we already have another Bobo.
Yeah, the Bobo was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the boss in like the NES first level. We were already fighting our second one.
Yeah. So you definitely, it's definitely a different setup. I remember, you know.
Maybe the NES one had it's like more of a tutorial the first level because they like let you work in. I can't grab that barrel. It's like on the edge, but I still can't get to it. And I will say, if you do end up going the Sega Master System route, I actually prefer playing it on the Sega Genesis because I prefer the controllers of the Sega Genesis over the Master System. Master System had kind of like a spongy D-pad, and the buttons weren't as springy as what I'm used to say the least.
That's understandable.
All right, we're already level 2.
And we're already on level 2.
Nice.
Right.
We're cruising. Give me that dynamite.
Dynamite.
That's like Looney Tunes at its best right there. Get Wile E. Coyote's dynamite.
You know, where's the Acme Corporation?
I think it's on a box we pick up soon.
That's right.
Yeah, and all the Double Dragons, it just seems like jump kick is your go-to for like everything.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like the overpowered move that you can't really block it. And
Now I'm noticing, at least from my remembering of the NES version, is you got like your punches seem to be more of a range than your kicks in this version. Like your kick is short. Look at that; it's like right by my head. But if I punch, I'm like going way across the screen. It feels like. Who'd have thought punching's better than kicking in a Double Dragon game? Oh man, you got your Louisville Slugger you lost.
Yeah, I lost it already. It's just like every other weapon you pick up in a beat 'em up game. As soon as you get it, you lose it.
Is there a reason that our walk just seems so quick? Look at that walk.
Ah, the best.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're tapping it.
Tappa, tappa, tappa.
Oh man, I like fell into the explosion.
Yeah, well done. You got blown up.
Yeah, I think this is really challenging it since we're doing the 2-player mode. You can see that great classic flicker going on.
Yeah, there's definitely...
Only so many sprites. I really can't tell how many... Oh, okay, the lives are up there. It's by your amount of hits.
And one of the wonderful things in all these games is you can hurt each other.
Oh, you gotta... Because it's not challenging enough.
Yeah.
I didn't see the option. Usually they give you an option in the beginning of the game of which mode do you want. Like
Yeah,
one
this one
will
just
let
kind of
you,
started and...
and one won't.
Ooh, a Sega box.
What do you think's in there?
I hope a Sega.
Alright, who wants a Sega? Pick it up. That's a pretty heavy Sega item, whatever it is. There you go, chuck it at her. I love the plugs. I don't recall Nintendo being slick enough to put a Nintendo on their box in the game. I think theirs was like a box of nails.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so far I gotta say the controls are solid.
They are, yes.
Nothing bad on that. The graphics look good. It's pretty much just the music is the winner for the NES so far from what I'm experiencing. This is really the go-to when you got 2 players, this version right now.
Yeah, and, you know, Sega was always good with the multiplayer games.
They were really, yeah, in multiplayer, I think Sega's the go-to if you want an arcade port of something. Mm-hmm. They, like, really put more attention to the arcade ports than, like, Nintendo did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a shame that they aren't the juggernaut they used to be.
Yeah, they
They're kind of, I think, living about as well as we are right there.
Yeah.
Hey, how many continues do you think we get?
It didn't really say, so...
I just kind of went quickly to the button. Now... Wow.
This guy just ain't going away, man.
This dude, I guess he's the boss because he's got like that rocker hair. So he must have... It looked like you were stomping on his face. That move, that's awesome.
And on the mission
We're cruising.
Yes,
We are cruising through these missions. Ooh. And that's not a good start. I think that's the classic knife to the face.
Yeah.
There we go. And these guys always just look like hobos to me for some reason. Must be the eyes.
Yeah. And
it's like they hired the homeless to fight for them.
That's unoriginal.
And then here's like the keeper of them.
Ooh, Captain Pink Hair there.
Yeah. I think those are supposed to be like Williams from NES, but that's another thing I'm noticing. They don't have... Did the NES one, I can't remember, have like a health bar for the guy?
I don't think so. I think that was something that really came around in
like the later
systems.
ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like where you have the Streets of Rage and stuff like that, where you'd have enemy life bars and stuff like that.
Gotcha. But hey, for an 80s 8-bit tech, I don't mind it too much.
Nope, not bad.
Come on, you. He ate my foot like 3 times, finally. That walk I still can't get over. Looks
I know,
hilarious.
that is a good walk. I like that.
Ooh, there's a nice shiv on the ground here. Alright. He can take a hit and not go down from that. That's amazing. So far, my only complaint about this version is the flicker's kind of heavy.
It is very heavy. I
don't know if that's just because we're doing the 2-player mode. Maybe it'd be less if it was 1-player.
Maybe, yeah. It's almost like, yes, it is a good option that they did this with 2 players, but if they didn't make it well enough to support it with the graphics and whatever else, then they may have been wasting time.
Well, I can't complain as long as there ain't slowdown,
which
we haven't experienced at least. So
no,
it's just
the flickering. So
I mean, that's more of a...
And it could be lived with.
Yeah, no, it's not like horrible. Now, if the whole screen was flickering and you're having a seizure, that's
That would be that would be different.
This is just sprite flicker, which if you are into games from this time, you should be immune to that by now. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's a very
just
common thing.
It's just something you have to deal with, and they took my bat away, so that's nice.
I love how your weapons disappear magically. Yeah, there definitely was not an Abobo here in the NES
No,
one.
there's a lot of Abobos so far.
I mean, part of me wants to say this one's harder than the NES one, but it's not though so far. Just like the guys, they're giving us more guys, but we're handling them fine.
Yeah.
I hate this part. Like you gotta exactly. That's why I hate that part. Can never jump to save my life by that.
Yeah, that's always a good time.
There we go. Come on, Indiana. I think a whip would take him down a little bit faster than this.
One
He's
would
taking
think,
some
yes.
whips. That's the other thing I'm getting. We got to stay more apart because we can hurt each other in this one.
Yeah, that is true. It's hard not to just get, jumbled up or whatever.
In most arcade games, I can't think of many of them where they even let you hurt each other. Usually the old button mashers, you can all be up in each other's grill and you're not going to hurt each other when you're playing.
Yeah, that is true.
Ah. No, Sega Master System we're definitely going to have to explore much more into because it does have a lot of good variations of other games from Nintendo and other systems, and they usually have like a unique thing about it. Like this one's uniqueness is the 2-player option, which is hard to find on a console port, you know what I mean, other than the arcade. And I gotta go out and say Double Dragon is one of the few games I actually prefer on game consoles than the arcade. I never really got into the actual arcade version.
Right, I didn't either.
It kind of felt slower to me for some reason compared to the console. I need a rock here. Come here. Catch. Oh, I threw it perfectly over his head.
Nice.
Let's try again. There we
is.
go. I don't know. I think the Sega box hurt him more. Can I take this with wherever we're going? Oh. Perfectly over. That's what I do. But at least I hit you. That's helping. But, yeah, so with the Double Dragon series, how many have you played and beaten?
Very few. I didn't really get into it until later in life. And, just when during the heyday of these systems, I never really got into the fighting games too much. That was more towards high school when we started playing games together. That
I'm like, hey, we got to play beat 'em ups. What are you doing here? Sitting there with your what the hell were you playing?
I don't really recall. I'd have to go back and look at all my video game history to see.
Oh man, well he didn't have the patience for Metroid, so
no,
I wasn't playing that.
No. We're not allowed to say that game anymore because it has been shelved.
Hey, we can talk about it. We just don't have to pop it in. I'll gladly remind that one. Yeah, that one's definitely on the hit list. We gotta give you a whole new relationship with Metroid, with the Super Metroid.
Yeah,
that one's just a masterpiece. All right, I just love how the progression it's getting. Whoa, now it's starting to get real green. Whoa. Is the Hulk down there?
That is the Hulk. With pink hair.
That's like before Hulk. Where's like the Abobo Hulk?
Yeah. And now they're just throwing in random colors because they're like trying to show off.
That guy passes almost for a zombie, man.
Yeah. Look at all the colors we have in this game. We're just going to mix them all over the place.
That's hilarious. I'm guessing green guys are harder.
Or maybe just look different because it's a different level.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I remember in the NES version you had the green Abobo, but that's it. I don't remember having like green regular guys. Yeah. Like there's some kind of radiation problem in this game. This gang's getting radiated. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I kind of don't... That's the only other minor complaint. It's like when you can get to the edge of the screen, you can't go any farther. Look at that. That's as far as you can go. And it's like there's a gap there, and you can't reach in if there's a guy.
Yeah, that is irritating.
You gotta, like,
there he is.
Ah, the Hulkster.
Love the red eyes, too. This is creepy.
I'm getting iced by everybody. Yeah, it's kind of hard to work as a team when we're hurting each other, to say the least.
And
I'm
plus,
so
we
used to
look
just
we're mere opposites of each other, and it
Yeah,
sometimes
compliment.
you got to stop and realize sometimes who am I actually playing as.
That's the problem. They're both brothers, apparently almost identical twins. They just decided to dye their hair
Yeah.
and change their clothes.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
we got to somehow tell each other apart. So.
All right, you're hitting up to number 4. This is where the fun really kicks in, because now
Oh, good. Now we have.
just random blocks coming out. But we walk so fast on the NES. This is way more difficult because you can't walk as fast. Oh, I still got chucked though. Nice. I thought you did a slide kick under or
Yeah.
something. Hey, at least you get
Oh,
poked.
good.
I don't remember
We're
this
getting
part of
stabbed.
the game. Nice. At least he got stabbed. Oh, I need to grab this.
Just don't throw it in my back.
Oh, I missed. That's it. This hobo's mine. Till
Nope,
I,
you fell into the spikes.
till I touched down too much. Awesome. Yeah, the music is just kind of slow tempoed compared to the NES one. The NES was like super fast and like in your face rave music compared to this. Okay. Oh.
So are we
Wow.
stuck here, or
Well, I got iced. It's all up to you. Figure
I'm
it
just-
out, sir.
you're
We're
done?
Yeah. My continues wore out.
Okay, well, one
you
complaint
go in
would
that
be
door?
just it would be nice to know what we're actually working with continue wise.
Yeah, you keep getting stabbed.
That's
Well, we got lost unless it just kept repeating. I don't know. It looked like you almost tried to go into a door, or I don't know what happens from there.
no, I have no idea.
That's
And they gave you no indication how many continues you had left. It just abruptly ended.
at least Nintendo would be like, listen, you got 2 lives or however many lives. But I do remember we used a lot of continues going through that,
We did, yeah.
so it seemed more generous in the beginning. But then I guess it like cuts off once you get later in the game.
I guess so.
But regardless, it's still a fun game. So
It
what's your
is.
take on your Sega Master System game?
It was a different take on it. It was a good take, and I look forward to playing some more games on the Master System.
Yeah, definitely let us know what kind of Sega Master System games you guys would like to see. We're up for any suggestions. It's a fairly new experience for us, to say the least. I don't know too much about it, and you
Right.
know
I
very
know
little
next
now.
to nothing about it.
Now we know something. So either way, let us know what you think about this version. What's your favorite version of Double Dragon to play? And we'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.
See you.